Hi everyone, welcome to chapter 10. Now for chapter 10, there's a lot of pages that just has a lot of information for you. I encourage you to go ahead and look at that first. A lot of it is notation and the names of things. I also encourage you to watch the video. You have videos embedded in Pearson. Okay, so if you have go in there and you go to online resources, or not just the e-text, but online resources, there are some videos in there too that you can go ahead and watch that explains all this. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory. So I don't want to go ahead and waste time going over that. All the information is written in your book that you're going to need, but I am going to do a couple of examples from 10.1 first. Okay, and so we can go ahead and make sure we understand that. So we want to go ahead in this examples, we're looking at complementary and supplementary angles. Okay, so for example 1, this is on page 91. Okay, I want to go ahead and look at two angles. So I have angles that are drawn. Okay. And I have B. I have a point A and a point C. Okay, and a D here. Okay, and I'm told that the measure of angle ABD. So angle ABD is right here. Okay, and I'm told that that is 88 degrees greater than means addition, so it's more than. So this angle is 88 degrees more than the measure of angle DBC. And DBC is here. Remember, angles go from listed first, middle, and last. Okay, so first, middle, and last. First, middle, and last. Okay. So that means that I know that this angle here, is 88 degrees bigger than this one here. Okay, so I know something about this angle, but nothing about this angle. So this angle, my DBC, I'm going to call a variable and I'm just going to pick X. So this angle is X degrees. Okay. And I know that ABD is 88 degrees more than this guy here. Okay, so this has to be an X and 88 because this DBC is X. This is more than that, and more than is addition. Okay, so it's X plus 88 degrees. Okay, now these are supplementary angles. Okay, so they have to add up to 90 degrees. So these two, 180 degrees, excuse me. So when I add these two up, they should equal 180 degrees. Okay, so I know that X, which is my first angle, plus the second angle, which is X plus 88, has to be equal to 180. So if I go ahead and start solving this, I end up with 2x is equal to 92 when I subtract 88 from both sides. Okay, so x is equal to 46 degrees. So I found DBC. Now to find ABD, because it asked for each angle, I have to add 88 to it. So 46 plus 88 is 134 degrees. Okay. So this angle is 134, and this one is 46. Okay. because supplementary angles have to add up to 180 degrees. Okay, now let's go ahead and I'm going to look at the next page. I'm going to look at example 3. All right, and I'm going to say, okay, I have two angles. Two lines that cross, creating 4 angles. Okay, and it gives me these symbols here. And this means that those two angles are exactly the same. So the little lines tell me which ones match. And this is 1, 3, and 2, and 4. Okay. And I am told that the measure of angle 1 is equal to 57 degrees. And I want to find the measures of the other 3 angles. Okay. Well, I already know that angle 1 and angle 3 are the same. So I could say, okay, I know the measure of angle 3 is also equal to 57 degrees. Okay. I also know, because these are straight lines, that the two angles here, 1 and 2, have to add up to 180 degrees. Okay, because this line is straight. All right, so I know that if I go ahead and I have angle 2, I know if I add angle 1 to it, they should equal to 180. Angle 1 is 57. I don't necessarily need the degree symbol there. Adding it to angle 2, I'm just going to call it a variable, has to be equal to 180. And so when I subtract 57 from both sides, I get that is 123. So now I also know that the measure of angle 2 is 123 degrees. And because 2 and 4 are the same, the measure of angle 4 is also 123 degrees. Okay, so you got to use these rules as you go along. You got to know how to figure out supplementary and complementary angles. That'll give you a lot of information. And also that these little symbols here, if you have some that are identical, then you can go ahead and you know that they're exactly the same. You don't have to do any math behind it. So that tells you a lot of information also. You don't have to do a lot of work for it. Okay. So again, on the next page, on page 93, is some rules in football by parallel lines and transversals. I am going to go ahead and do one of those. All right, and then I'll leave the rest of you to try to do for practice. And again, if you have any questions on or think you can't get the right answer, I will go ahead and do that. But I don't want to write all of the chart on page 93 for you. I'll just let you go ahead and look at it. And I'm going to go ahead and look at page 93. I'm going to look at example 5. Okay, and this will be the last one I do for 10.1. Like I said, the videos online, I'm going to encourage you to watch them for every section, but I may not get as detailed on all my videos here that I'm doing as they do on theirs, and I'll give you some good information. So example 5, looks like this, somewhat. Okay. And my angles are, let's see, this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 7, 6, 1. And they tells me the measure of angle 8 is 29 degrees. Okay. Assume that the measure of angle 8 is 29 degrees. Find the measure of each of the other several angles. Now, they did tell us that these are parallel lines. And that's important. They have to be parallel in order for what we're doing to go ahead and work. Okay? So I know that if the angle 8 is 29 degrees, I know according to my rules, okay, that angle 5 has to be the same. These two have to be the same if they're parallel lines. Okay? I also know what else. Okay? I have measure of angle 8 is going to be equal to the measure of angle 5. Okay? Which is 29 degrees. All right. I also know that the measure of an outside angle here is equal to this one here. Which also means then the measure of angle 5 is equal to the measure of angle 1. Which also means it's equal to the measure of angle 2. So these are all 29 degrees. That means by all the rules, the measure of angle 6 is equal to the measure of angle 7, which is equal, not equal, equal to the measure of angle 3, which is also equal to the measure of angle 4. Okay, so all I have to do is find one of these angles and I'm good to go. Now, the parallel lines and this line here creates a 180 degree angle. So I know if I take my 29 that I already have and add it to one of my angles I'll call X, which are represented by these guys, I should be equal to 180 degrees. So when I go ahead and solve, that X is equal to 151 degrees. Which means all of these angles here are equal to 151 degrees. Okay, so those are all going to be the same. All right, so go ahead and practice. Make sure you're watching the videos and reading the information. Maybe write your own separate notes if you need to, so you know all the different information that was go ahead and given you in charts here. I'll see you again in 10.2.